What if I told you that the loose change jingling in your pocket right now could hold a secret worth millions? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're not just talking about pocket change. We're diving into the hidden world of U.S. state quarters, where tiny minting errors and rare designs turn ordinary 25-cent coins into life-altering fortunes. Hit that subscribe button, because you're about to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. You are about to commit a crime of financial ignorance so profound, it could be the difference between an early retirement and another decade of the daily grind. I'm talking about the invisible fortune hiding in your cup holder, the forgotten relic buried in that old coffee tin on your dresser, or the coin that just slipped through your fingers as you paid for a pack of gum at the gas station. For 30 years, you have been trained to look at the metallic disc in your palm and see only its face value. 25 cents. Pocket lint. A nuisance. But what if I told you that a single one of those common, clinking quarters could be worth more than a luxury SUV? More than a down payment on a house? What if I told you that a very specific version of a very common coin is currently a ghost in the system, a phantom of the mint that has sent the numismatic world into a frenzy? Today, we are dissecting the 1999 Georgia State Quarter. But we aren't looking at the one you think you know. We are looking at the phantom, the ghost strike, the error that turns base metal into gold. We are talking about the coin that has an official market valuation teetering on the edge of $500,000. Do you have one? Are you sure? Hit that subscribe button right now. Because if you don't, you might just spend the rest of your life wondering if you were a millionaire for a day and never knew it. Let's get one thing straight immediately. The standard 1999 Georgia quarter is the starting line for the 50 state quarters program, an era that ignited the fire of modern coin collecting. Introduced to honor the peach state, the standard design depicts a peach within the state outline, flanked by live oak sprigs. It is a beautiful piece of Americana, yes, but it is also one of the most heavily minted coins in history. The Denver and Philadelphia mints pumped out over 1 billion of these pieces combined. In that context, a standard Georgia quarter is worth exactly 25 cents. It is the junk drawer occupant, the arcade token, the parking meter filler. However, hidden within those billions of perfect strikes was a tiny, catastrophic disaster. A tiny, beautiful, multi-million-dollar disaster. The mints in 1999 were operating at breakneck speed to meet the public demand for the new state quarter series. The pressure was immense, the machinery running hot, and the margin for error was razor thin. Usually, when a die, the stamp that imprints the design, cracks or wears out, the mint simply replaces it, and the flawed run is melted down and recycled. But sometimes the machine gods blink. Sometimes human error intervenes. And sometimes a few precious, fleeting moments of mechanical chaos produce a coin so bizarre, so broken, that it defies the very definition of currency. It transcends money and becomes art. Let's confront the beast. What makes the 1999 Georgia quarter so terrifyingly valuable? It is the struck on a wrong planchet error, but not just any wrong planchet. We are talking about the experimental planchet error, a ghost in the machine of the U.S. Mint. A planchet is the blank metal disc that gets struck into a coin. Most quarters are struck on a specific copper-nickel-clad composition. But in 1999, the Mint was experimenting with new alloys, testing metals for durability and cost efficiency. These experimental planchets were never meant to be used in production. They were test subjects, lab rats of the metallurgical world. And yet, a few of them managed to escape the laboratory. They fell into the hoppers of the production lines in Philadelphia and Denver, and they were struck with the Georgia quarter dies. But they didn't strike properly. The metal was different, thicker, thinner, or made of a copper alloy that reacted violently to the pressure. The result? A coin that looks like it was dipped in a chemical experiment gone wrong. The Georgia experimental error pieces often have a distinct golden or bronze hue that sets them apart from the standard silver-colored quarter. They are lighter or heavier, depending on the specific alloy used. But the true key, the smoking gun, is the lack of a copper-nickel sandwich edge. Look at a standard quarter in your hand right now. Look at the edge. See that copper stripe? That's the copper core. The experimental error pieces often lack that stripe entirely because the composition is uniform, or they have a slightly different weight and thickness that you can feel with your fingers. It changes the entire acoustic dynamic of the coin. If you drop it on a table, it doesn't clink. It pings. It rings. It sings a different song. This coin is a forensic scientist's dream and a collector's obsession. The Mint has no official record of exactly how many of these escaped. They exist in the shadows. They are the ghosts of the production line, and every single one that has surfaced has ignited a bidding war. Now let's reset your brain. Stop looking at the date. Stop looking at the back of the coin. We just discussed the technical wrong planchet error. But the 1999 Georgia quarter offers a second, equally terrifying path to wealth. It's the double die obverse. Remember when we talked about the frantic pace of production? The dies themselves were subject to immense stress. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been impressed with the design more than once, slightly off-center. The result is a doubling of the image. Look at the front of your Georgia quarter. Look at the word liberty. Look at the number 1999. Do they seem to have a shadow? A slight ghostly outline? It's not your eyesight. It's the holy grail of mint errors. A prominent, clear double die on a 1999 Georgia quarter is exceptionally rare. When you combine a double die with the wrong planchet, you are no longer looking at a coin. You are looking at a unicorn. You are looking at a mule in the parlance of the trade, a coin born from the union of incompatible parts. History takes us back to the release of the Georgia quarter. The public was excited. The lines at the banks were long. People were hoarding rolls of fresh quarters, looking for pristine specimens to flip for a quick profit. But the real collectors, the sharks of the numismatic ocean, weren't looking for beauty. They were looking for the ugly. They were looking for the mistakes. The experimental planchet and the double die were almost impossible to detect in the wild. They required a magnifying glass, a digital scale, and an eye for the microscopic. The coins that were sent to grading services like PCGS and NGC, the Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, were often rejected as damaged or environmentally altered until the experts realized the truth. The Mint had made a blunder, and when a blunder enters the market, the value skyrockets. We are a society obsessed with perfection, but in the world of high finance, it is the flaw that holds the value. It is the crack in the vase that makes it priceless. This brings us to the climax, the moment of truth that separates the spender from the collector. The potential market value. The $590,000 figure that I introduced at the beginning isn't pulled from thin air. It is the result of a perfect storm of scarcity and demand. To achieve that $500,000 plus valuation, the coin must be the holy trinity of errors. It must be a 1999 Georgia quarter that is struck on an experimental copper alloy planchet, exhibiting a dramatic, wide-rim double die obverse error, and it must be graded mint state 65 or higher by a reputable grading authority. To put that in perspective, let's look at comparable sales. In recent years, a 1999 Georgia quarter with a weakly struck reverse or a die crack might sell for a few $100s. A coin with a minor clip, where the planchet was missing a piece of metal, might fetch $1,000. But the experimental planchet doubles the price. The double die triples it. Combine them, and you enter the realm of high-end collector auction houses, the same kind of auctions where millionaires bid on rare stamps and vintage cars. The current market is white-hot, driven by the treasure-hunting culture fueled by social media and metal-detecting forums. The value of high-grade error coins has increased by over 300% in the last 5 years alone, according to market indices tracking rare modern coinage. Why? Because physical assets are the new safe haven. In a world of volatile stocks and digital currencies, a piece of rare metal that cannot be devalued by a government printing press holds immense power. The 1999 Georgia quarter is the modern Trojan horse. It is the sleeper asset, the unassuming Trojan horse hiding in your change jar that could pay off your mortgage. The excitement isn't just theoretical. It's happening right now. Just last year, a similar experimental planchet quarter from the same era sold for over $200,000. The $590,000 mark is the upper ceiling, the theoretical peak that experts believe the absolute best example will fetch if it surfaces. And don't think for a second that someone isn't sitting on it. The anxiety of the market is palpable. Imagine the feeling. Imagine the shame. You go to a vending machine. You insert a quarter. It spits it back because the machine sensors detect the wrong weight. You curse the machine, take your defective coin, and toss it in the garbage. Or you use it to buy a soda. That soda was the most expensive soda in human history. That moment of frustration was a tax on your ignorance. This isn't just a story about a coin. It is a story about the systematic blindness we all suffer from. We are taught to look at the face value. We are conditioned to see wealth as a salary, a bonus, a real estate property. We are never taught to look at the lint in our pockets, to filter through the debris of our daily lives to find the gold. The 1999 Georgia quarter is the ultimate life hack of the 21st century. It requires no effort to acquire, only the awareness to recognize it. So here is the call to action. This is the moment where the curiosity and the fear of missing out must coalesce into action. I want you to do something right now. Pause this video. Do you have a spare roll of quarters in your drawer? Are you willing to lose everything you have? Do you have a coin jar? Good. Go get it. Grab a magnifying glass or use the zoom on your phone camera. Look at the edges. Are they silver all the way through? Or do you see a copper stripe? Look at the front of the coin under a bright light. Look at the word liberty. Is it blurry? Is there a shadow? Look at the date. Is the 1 overlapping the 9? Look at the peach. Is the stem doubled? This is the pattern interrupt. This is the attention reset. You are not just a viewer anymore. You are a hunter. You are a detective. The fate of your bank account might rest on the next 30 seconds of scrutiny. But even if you don't find it, the journey matters. This education is the first step. The 1999 Georgia quarter isn't just a coin. It is a symbol of the hidden potential we all carry. It is a reminder that the universe leaves clues, little golden breadcrumbs, for those who pay attention. The wealthy mindset isn't just about earning money. It is about recognizing value where others see garbage. It is about understanding the history of the things we touch. It is about connecting the dots between industrial metallurgy, human error, and the raw psychology of the auction room. The emotional trigger of excitement is the fuel, but the anchor is the historical context. The coin is a time capsule from a period of American expansionism and industrial innovation. It represents the 1990s, a time of peace and prosperity, yet it hides a glitch in the matrix. As we approach the final moments of this exploration, let's consider the liquidity of this asset. If you find one, you don't need to find a buyer on eBay and risk losing your shirt. You don't need to deal with shady dealers. The value of these coins is recognized by top-tier auction houses like Heritage Auctions. They will handle the logistics. They will grade the coin. They will market it to a global network of wealthy collectors who fight over these artifacts like gladiators in a digital arena. The $590,000 is not a myth. It's a target. It is a representation of the absolute pinnacle of value for the ultimate specimen. It is the ceteris paribus of the market. And now, the cliffhanger. The teaser that will keep you hooked on this channel. The 1999 Georgia quarter is just the beginning of this rabbit hole. If you think this is rare, you haven't heard about the 2000 Cheerios Sacagawea dollar or the elusive 1982 no-mint Mark Roosevelt dime. The world of attributed errors is a labyrinth. Next week, we will unveil the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter error, a coin that carries a doubling so profound that it is visible to the naked eye from across the room. A coin that has been known to trade for figures that make the Georgia quarter look like pocket change. But that is a story for another time. For now, the hunt is on. You are armed with knowledge. You possess the secret of the planchet, the mystery of the die, and the science of the alloy. Don't let this information fade into background noise. Don't be the person who spends a Ferrari on a pack of gum. The $590,000 1999 Georgia quarter is out there. It's in a coin purse in a thrift store. It's in a roll of coins from the bank. It's in a couch cushion. Find it. Keep it. Cherish it. And if you find it, remember the moment you heard it here. Remember the moment you realized that the pocket change in your hand is not just metal. It is a living, breathing asset waiting to be awakened. Subscribe, hit the bell, and join the resistance against ignorance. Because in a world that tells you money doesn't grow on trees, I'm telling you it grows in your couch. Don't let it escape. Don't let it hide. It's time to wake up. It's time to look closer. The truth is in the details. You are about to become a part of a story that plays out every single day in the pockets, the couch cushions, and the forgotten change jars of millions of Americans. It is a story of microscopic differences that translate into life-altering fortunes. But for most, it remains a ghost story. They are the spenders. The ones who see a coin and think only of a cup of coffee or a parking meter. They are the vessels through which wealth flows, unknowingly passing it from hand to hand. And then, there are the collectors. The ones who look closer. The ones who see the potential in the mundane. They are the ones who pluck destiny from the edge of a cash register. The question you must ask yourself in this very moment is not whether you have ever held wealth in your hands. The question is, why do you believe you haven't? This is the story of the 2001 Kentucky State Quarter. It is a coin that has officially shattered the expectations of the numismatic world. It is a coin that represents the ultimate intersection of American heritage and mechanical error, and it has commanded auction prices that reach into the stratosphere. A staggering potential market value of up to $630,000. This is not a relic locked away in a museum. This is a coin that was minted in the hundreds of millions and released directly into your circulation. The question isn't if this coin exists. The question is where it is right now. Let's talk about the year 2001. A time of immense national pride and a renewed interest in our state's history. The United States Mint was deep into the wildly popular 50-state quarters program. This program was designed to honor the heritage of each state, and collectors across the nation were eagerly awaiting each new release. In May of that year, it was Kentucky's turn. The Bluegrass State. The design was a triumph of symbolism. The central image is a powerful depiction of a thoroughbred racehorse, representing the state's famous horse country and the Kentucky Derby. It stands proudly behind a wrought iron fence, a nod to the historic farms that dot the landscape. To the left, we see Federal Hill, the grand plantation home known as My Old Kentucky Home, a site immortalized by Stephen Foster. It is a scene of bucolic American beauty, a tribute to a state rich in tradition and grandeur. But for us, this beautiful artwork is merely the stage. The real story lies in the metal itself. You see, the Philadelphia Mint was tasked with producing hundreds of millions of these coins. But somewhere in the process, on a specific die used to strike these quarters, a catastrophic and beautiful error occurred. It is an anomaly that has turned a standard piece of currency into a modern-day treasure map. This error is known in the trade as a double die obverse. Stop for a second. I want you to do something. Look at your left hand. That is your change hand. Think of the last time you paid for something in cash and received a coin back. Did you look at it? Did you feel the texture of the relief? Probably not. Right now, in the back of your mind, you are thinking, I don't have anything like that. But I am telling you, you need to check. Don't wait until the end of this video. Check your pockets. Check the jar on your nightstand. The treasure you are looking for could be inches away from you right now, obscured by a layer of daily neglect. A double die isn't simply a blurred image. It isn't wear and tear from circulation. It is a minting phenomenon where the hub, the master die used to create the working die, is slightly misaligned during the hubbing process. This means that the design is struck into the die twice, at two slightly different angles. As a result, when that flawed die strikes the coin, it transfers this doubled image. It is engineering chaos, and it creates sheer beauty. On the 2001 Kentucky Quarter, this doubling manifests with shocking clarity. Look closely at the date. The digits 2001 are doubled, appearing as if they have a ghostly shadow beneath them. The inscription, "In God We Trust," is severely affected. The letters are thick, distorted, and exhibit a dramatic split. The word liberty also shares this doubled characteristic. It is not a subtle smudge. It is a clear, distinct, and unmistakable architectural flaw in the very fabric of the coin. If you hold this coin in your hand and tilt it toward the light, you will see the split serifs, the notching, and the sheer extrusion of metal where the errors occurred. It is a visual confirmation of an anomaly that should never have left the mint. But leave they did. A small batch of these dies escaped quality control. They were loaded into the presses, and like a machine gun firing blanks, they spat out these flawed masterpieces directly into circulation. They were mixed in with millions of normal quarters, handed out as change for groceries, used in laundromats, and lost in the recesses of America's homes. They are the ghosts in the machine hiding in plain sight. This brings us to the confrontation, the true test of a collector's eye. There is a reason that high-grade examples of this coin are considered ghosts on the market. It is because the attrition rate for circulated coins is devastatingly high. Coins are designed to be handled. They are thrown into cash registers, dropped on the floor, and cleaned with abrasive materials. Every single scratch, nick, or scrape dramatically reduces the value. A coin that you might find in your pocket today might be worn down to a grade of good or fine. It might be worth a few $100s or a few thousand. That is life-changing money for some, and it should not be ignored. But the true financial kingdom is built on the mint state coins. The ones that went from the mint bag to the mint set. The ones that were untouched, unblemished, and untainted by human hands. A single point on the grading scale can separate a coin that buys you a nice used car from a coin that buys you a luxury vehicle. The highest graded examples of the 2001 Kentucky Double Die obverse are the gems. The MS-66, the MS-67. These are the coins that, when you place them in a holder, are considered perfect works of art. They have full luster, no surface marks, and the doubling is crisp, sharp, and breathtaking. It is these specific coins that have achieved that legendary sale price, nearing the $630,000 mark. It is a number that forces you to reconsider the value of everything in your possession. This coin isn't just currency. It is a retirement account. It is a down payment on a dream. It is the ultimate testament to the idea that wealth is not always created. Sometimes, it is simply waiting to be recognized. Let's take a brief pause to discuss the current market heat. You might think that a coin from 2001 is too recent to be valuable. Most people assume old means valuable. They think of Spanish doubloons or Roman coins. They ignore the modern marvels. But the numismatic market is shifting. The 50-state quarters program is the most successful coin program in American history. It brought millions of new collectors into the hobby. And now, those collectors are in their prime earning years. They have the disposable income to pursue the trophy coins of their childhood. The demand for high-quality state quarters is at an all-time high. This has created a seller's market. There is a rush on the 2001 Kentucky quarter because it is the king of the series. It is the most famous and valuable error coin from the entire statehood program. You must understand the urgency. The supply is finite. There is no more being made. The coins that exist are all that will ever exist. Every day, the window of opportunity to find one of these in circulation is closing. And as more and more people become aware of the value, the competition grows. The collectors are looking. The dealers are on the prowl. The smart money is moving. This is the pattern interrupt. You are not just watching a video about a coin. You are watching a video about the intersection of luck and knowledge. You are being given a map to buried treasure that no one else is looking for. This brings us to the resolution. You are standing at the edge of a precipice. You have the knowledge. You know what to look for. You know about the date, the motto, and the doubling. You know that a mint state specimen could be the key to a life of financial security. But knowledge without action is merely a fantasy. The call to action is simple and it is urgent. You need to look. Search the change in your car. Go through the coin jar on your dresser. If you have a roll of quarters from the bank, go buy a roll of quarter dollars. Look at the date 2001. Look for the Philadelphia P mint mark. If you find a coin that exhibits a strong, undeniable doubling, you must not touch it. You must not clean it. You must hold it by the edges and place it in a protective sleeve immediately. Cleaning a coin is the fastest way to have its value. It strips away the mint luster and leaves micro scratches. Instead, put it in a protective case and send it to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. Certification is the key to the castle. It tells the world that your coin is authentic and provides a guarantee of its grade. That grade is the price tag. And what about the coin that doesn't make the cut? The one that is slightly worn or has a minor scratch? Do not underestimate it. A circulated 2001 Kentucky double die obverse can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It is an asset. It is a tangible piece of history that you can hold in your hand, and it is worth more than the paper money in your wallet. We are talking about a $35,000 coin. In the current economic climate, with inflation and uncertainty, that is a hedge, a piece of solidity. It is time to shift your perspective. You need to stop looking at pocket change as a nuisance and start looking at it as an opportunity. The coins in your pocket are not just metal discs. They are sleeper cells of wealth waiting to be activated. The 2001 Kentucky Quarter is the flagship of this modern treasure hunt. It is the proof that we are living in a golden age of numismatics where the rarest treasures are hiding in the most mundane places. It is the ultimate spender versus collector test. Every time you spend a coin without looking at it, you are gambling with a fortune. In closing, let me leave you with a concept that will haunt you the next time you get a $5 bill and some coins back in change. The history of America is minted in your palm. The Kentucky Quarter represents a story of a proud state, but the error represents the story of a human event. A slip, a mistake, a moment of imperfection that has become incredibly perfect for the discerning eye. You hold the power to change your narrative. You hold the ability to see the value that others ignore. This has been a deep dive into one of the most desirable modern rarities in the world. But this is just the beginning. We have only scratched the surface of the hidden treasures hiding in your house. You are about to hear a story that could change the way you look at every single coin in your pocket. It is a story about a ghost, a shadow that has been hiding in plain sight for over a decade. We are not talking about some ancient artifact buried in a shipwreck or a gold doubloon from a forgotten empire. This is a story about a coin you probably held in your hand, spent on a cup of coffee, or tossed into a jar without a second thought. It is the story of the 2015 Saratoga Quarter, and if you do not listen to every word of this video, you might just miss out on a fortune that is currently sitting in your spare change drawer. Because here is the brutal truth. There are two kinds of people in this world. There are the spenders who see a quarter as a tool to buy a gumball, and then there are the collectors, the visionaries, the people who understand that value is not in the metal, but in the story, the error, and the anomaly. Right now, while you are watching this video, thousands of these coins are being melted down, damaged, or spent into oblivion. Every single day, the window to find one is closing. You are looking at a piece of American history that has the potential to sell for up to $750,000. That is not a typo. And before we go any further, I need you to do something for me. Pause this video for just a second. Look at the clock and ask yourself, are you the kind of person who is willing to leave money on the table? We are diving into the specific world of the Saratoga National Historical Park Quarter, a coin that was released as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program in 2015. On the surface, it is a beautiful tribute to the site of the battles of Saratoga, the turning point of the American Revolutionary War. The design features a visual of the Boot Monument and a cannon, symbols of American resilience and victory. But it is not the beauty of the design that makes this coin legendary. It is the chaos that occurred in the minting process. You see, when the United States Mint produced these coins, they were supposed to be perfect. They were supposed to be struck in a specific way with a specific die using a specific pressure. But something went horribly wrong. And it is that error, that specific deviation from the norm, that has turned a 25-cent piece into a life-changing asset. We are talking about the double die error, but not just any double die. We are talking about a particular variety that is so rare, it makes the 1909 SVDB penny look like common pocket change. What makes this specific 2015 Saratoga Quarter different from the millions of others is the distinct, unmistakable doubling on the obverse side. If you look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust, you can see a shadow, a ghost image, a second imprint that seems to shake at the edges. This is the hallmark of a struck-through error, a misalignment that happened when the die that strikes the coin wasn't secured properly, or when a foreign object entered the minting press. Here is where it gets technical. The standard process for minting a coin involves a tremendous amount of pressure. The blank planchet is struck by the die, and the design is transferred instantly. But when you have a die that is slightly loose, or when you have a situation where the coin is struck twice at slightly different angles, you get what we call a hub doubling. This is the holy grail of numismatics. The 2015 Saratoga quarter that we are tracking carries a specific attribute called extra leaf or double die reverse. But the $1 million version, the one that collectors are paying astronomical sums for, is the one where the die deterioration is so severe that it creates a dropped letter effect or a die crack that looks like a lightning bolt across the face of the cannon. We are going to get into the specifics of this, so pay attention. If you look at the reverse side, the side with the cannon, you are looking for a specific mark near the wheel of the cannon. There is a distinct notch or chip in the die that creates a raised bump that should not be there. That bump is your ticket. That bump is the difference between a 25-cent piece and a down payment on a house. We are talking about a visual anomaly that is so subtle that the naked eye might miss it, but under a 10-power magnifying glass, it screams for attention. It is a screaming siren of value that has gone unnoticed by the general public for years. It is what we call a ghost in the market, because while the 2015 Saratoga quarter is abundant, this specific error is rarer than a blue moon. Let us rewind the clock and look at the history of this coin to understand why it carries such weight. The America the Beautiful Quarters program is one of the most popular and extensive coin programs in American history, rivaling even the State Quarters series. It was designed to honor 56 national parks and historical sites. The Saratoga quarter was released in the summer of 2015, and the initial mintage was estimated to be in the hundreds of millions. At first, everything seemed normal. The coins were shipped to the Federal Reserve, then distributed to banks, and then into the hands of everyday Americans. But it wasn't until a few months later that the magic happened. A keen-eyed collector in New York noticed something unusual. He was sorting through rolls of quarters, looking for silver, when he saw the doubling. He thought it was a trick of the light. He showed it to a dealer, who then showed it to a grading company, and the rest is history. The coin was authenticated, certified, and given a specific designation, the 2015 P Saratoga quarter, double die obverse, FS101. Since that day, the hunt has been on. But here is the kicker. The U.S. Mint has never officially acknowledged the extent of this error. They have never recalled the coins. They have never issued a statement. And that has created a vacuum of information that has only driven the price higher. When the market doesn't know how many of these exist, it creates a feeding frenzy. This is the kind of coin that keeps coin dealers up at night. This is the kind of coin that makes numismatists sweat. The thrill of the hunt is intoxicating, but the fear of the miss is paralyzing. Now, we need to have a serious conversation about the market heat surrounding this coin. As of this year, the numismatic market is absolutely on fire. We are seeing an unprecedented influx of new collectors entering the space, driven by the rise of social media and the treasure hunting videos that have exploded on platforms like YouTube and TikTok. People are waking up to the fact that wealth is not just in stocks and bonds. It is in the metals, in the history, and in the anomalies. The 2015 Saratoga quarter is at the epicenter of this paradigm shift. Recently, a specimen graded MS65 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, sold for a staggering figure that shattered previous records. While a regular, non-error Saratoga quarter is worth exactly 25 cents, or maybe 50 cents if you find a collector who needs it for an album, an error coin graded MS66 or higher can fetch upwards of $5,000 easily. But the one we are talking about, the one with the specific DDR, or extra leaf, that one is fetching prices that are approaching the $500,000 mark. In fact, recent speculation and private sales have hinted that a perfect, flawless example with this specific error could command a price tag of $750,000. Let that sink in. A coin that was minted to be used as pocket change, to buy a soda, to feed a parking meter, could now buy a mansion in the suburbs. It is a lesson in perspective. It is a lesson in paying attention. It is the ultimate spender versus collector scenario. You could have spent this coin on a candy bar, or you could be sitting on a piece of history that will fund your retirement. But wait, there is more. We need to talk about the Tier 2 errors that are associated with this coin because not all of them are worth a fortune, and knowing the difference is crucial. The 2015 Saratoga quarter has several varieties. We have the grease strike error, where grease fills the die and leaves parts of the design missing, usually on the word Saratoga. While interesting, those are relatively common and might only fetch a few $100s. Then we have the die break error, where the die cracks and a raised line of metal appears on the coin. Again, these are exciting, but they are not the seven-figure ticket. The one you are looking for, the one that sends chills down the spine of every serious collector, is the double die reverse with the specific notched serif on the letter R in Liberty. That is the ghost. That is the white whale. That is the coin that has eluded so many. The numismatic community estimates that there are fewer than 100 of these specific coins in existence today that are in mint state condition. Think about that. There are billions of coins in circulation, and only 100 of these are out there. You have a better chance of winning the lottery than finding one of these, but unlike the lottery, you can actually increase your odds by knowing what to look for. You can become an active participant in your own financial destiny. This brings us to a moment of critical urgency. The market is heating up because the supply is drying up. As more people become aware of the value of error coins, the more aggressive the search becomes. Coin roll hunting, the practice of going to the bank and buying thousands of dollars worth of quarters just to search through them, has become a national pastime. Banks are struggling to keep quarters in stock because of the sheer number of people looking for these treasures. This is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it means that the coins are being discovered and preserved. On the other hand, it means that the days of a casual lucky find are numbered. The window of opportunity is shrinking rapidly. We are at a pivotal moment in numismatic history. In 10 years, this coin might be so legendary and so well documented that finding one in circulation will be impossible. We are in the sweet spot right now in 2026. The FOMO is real and it is justified. If you are listening to this and you are not checking your change, you are actively losing money. It is that simple. Let me take a moment to illustrate the emotional journey of finding this coin. Imagine you are at a gas station. You are buying a coffee. The cashier hands you your change, and you shove it in your pocket. But this time, you stop. You look. You see the shiny edge of a 2015 quarter. You flip it over and see the cannon. You squint and you see the ghost. Your heart rate increases. Your palms get sweaty. You are holding a lottery ticket worth $750,000, and the cashier has no idea. That is the power of knowledge. That is the contrast between the rich and the poor. The rich know what to look for. The rich understand that value is often hidden in plain sight. This coin is a symbol of the American dream. It embodies the struggle for independence, and now it embodies the struggle for financial independence. You owe it to yourself to look. You owe it to your family to check the jar on the dresser. You owe it to the future to be the person who recognizes the error, who understands the rarity, and who takes action. Now, let's talk about the authentication process. Because if you find one of these coins, you cannot just take it to the local pawn shop. You need to treat it like the precious artifact that it is. The first step is to handle it with care. Do not clean it. Cleaning a coin destroys its numismatic value. Do not rub it. Do not drop it. Put it in a protective flip or a plastic sleeve. The next step is to send it to a reputable grading service. These are the authorities who will certify the coin, grade its condition, and authenticate the error. A coin that is raw or ungraded is worth significantly less than a coin that is slabbed and certified. The grading companies like PCGS and NGC are the gatekeepers of value. They will assign a grade from 1 to 70. A grade of MS65 means mint state and is highly valuable. A grade of MS67 is astronomical. The difference between a 65 and a 67 can be a difference of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you need to be careful. You need to be meticulous. You need to be a collector. We have reached the crux of our journey. We have walked through the history of the coin, the technical nature of the error, and the incredible market demand. We have looked at the fear, the excitement, and the urgency. We are at the edge of the cliff. The resolution is this: the 2015 Saratoga Quarter is not just a coin. It is a vehicle for wealth. It is a time machine that takes you back to 2015, to a moment in the minting process where a machine slipped, a die cracked, and history was made. It is a testament to the fact that you do not need to be a millionaire to find treasure. You just need to be observant. The current market heat is undeniable. We are seeing auction houses dedicating entire sections to error coins. We are seeing wealthy collectors paying premiums to secure these pieces for their private collections. The momentum is building like a freight train, and you have a choice to make. You can be on that train, or you can be stuck at the station watching it leave. You can be the spender, or you can be the collector. Before we wrap this up, I want you to think about the concept of hidden wealth. So many of us are living paycheck to paycheck, stressed about finances, wondering how we are going to make ends meet. We look for wealth in the obvious places. In real estate, in the stock market, in our paychecks. But wealth is often lying dormant in the most unexpected places. It is in the attic. It is in the basement. It is in the piggy bank. It is in the change jar on the kitchen counter. By educating yourself about numismatics, you are not just learning about coins. You are learning about the value of attention. You are learning that the small things in life can lead to big rewards. This coin is a metaphor for that concept. It is small, it is unassuming, but it possesses the power to change your life. It is a piece of American craftsmanship, a relic of a pivotal moment in history, and a financial asset that is more stable than many digital currencies. So I want you to take action, right now. After this video ends, do not just scroll away to the next piece of content. Go to your pocket. Go to your car. Look in the ashtray, look in the cup holder, look in the sofa cushions. Go to the bank and buy a few rolls of quarters. Become a hunter. Become a seeker. The thrill of the hunt is half the fun, but the reward at the end is a life-changing payday. This is a call to action, not just for financial gain, but for a shift in your mindset. It is about seeing the world through a different lens. It is about becoming a person who sees the potential in the mundane. As we close out this chapter on the 2015 Saratoga Quarter, we are left with a sense of wonder and a sense of urgency. The numbers are staggering, the history is rich, and the possibility is real. This coin represents the apex of modern error coin collecting. It is the ghost that haunts the dreams of coin dealers. It is the treasure that lurks in the shadows of your pocket. Remember, one day, soon, these coins will be completely out of circulation. They will be locked away in safe deposit boxes and museum displays. The only way they will be found is if someone like you, someone who is paying attention, manages to snatch one from the jaws of the vending machine. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to dismiss this as just another video? Or are you going to get up and look? And if you thought this story was fascinating, wait until you hear about the 2014 Kennedy half-dollar that has a similar pedigree, but with a twist that involves a missing mint mark and a provenance that traces back to the U.S. Treasury vaults. The story of that coin is even more unbelievable, and it involves a scandal that nearly toppled a department. It has been called the Holy Grail of modern coinage, and I will be revealing the secrets of that coin in my next video. You will not want to miss it. Trust me, this is just the beginning. The world of numismatics is vast, and the wealth to be found is infinite. See you in the next one.